What an absolute gem of a game, and how important will this be later on in the season for the Crimson Tide?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA's radio network. Luke Robinson, that's me. Bama Online's Jimmy Stein can't be here because his wife's asleep. Can't wake her up. That's true. So, yeah, it's a little late for me too, but man, what an absolute unbelievable game. It was fantastic from start to finish. Lots of times in there, you thought they were playing a little too physical, but in the end, I think this is just a gem of a game for Alabama and couldn't have wound up more perfectly. You get the win over a great Houston team in a game where Houston was, they were asserting some physicality. They were getting after it. I see Jonathan McMillan says it feels like a Sweet 16 game. I couldn't agree more, unless you want to say an Elite 8 game or a Final Four game. That's what I thought midway through this was like, man, this has such an NCAA tournament feel to it. And what a win, what a big-time moment. Mo Diabate, hard hat winner, no doubt, played his tail off. And I just got up here to my little tiny office, so I hadn't actually seen the stats, but I know he had a double-double. It was really quite incredible the way he was playing. His blocks were phenomenal. This guy, you know who he reminds me of? I won't go in the Wayback Machine for some of y'all. How about 16 rebounds and 10 points? 16 and 3 blocks. Yeah, he won the hard hat. He's got a Michael Ansley feel to him. That's who he reminds me of. And now a lot of you may not remember Michael, but he played at Alabama from like 86 to 89, I believe. And in 87, he was on that team that was so good. He might have left in 88, actually. It might have been 85 to 88. But in 87, he was on that team with McKee and Gottfried and Jim Farmer, J.J. Jackson, all those guys, right? And he was sort of like a good piece to that, but he was complimentary. Then the next year, he was the only one left, and he was awesome at times. I remember in 88, he helped lead Alabama to a huge win over Auburn at their place. So that was a lot of fun. And River Reese, man, hey, I appreciate you, River Reese, saying this really quickly. He says, LSU fan, never thought I'd be a fan of anything Bama, but you have one of the best Bama personalities out and love your content. Thank you, man. And I will let Jimmy know that too. We appreciate that so much. But this game, man, how awesome was that? And to do it in sort of like an NCAA environment, right? Home and home is going to be a lot of fun. Playing at Purdue, even though we lost, that was fun. And that was a good test. And I don't think we're able to win this game if we haven't already gone to Purdue and done what we did, meaning even though we lost. Because we had a lead in that Purdue game and we squandered it. We squandered a lead tonight. We were up 8, and then they go on this huge run. Ben and Travis says Luke got his smile back. You're right. I loved watching this. I got to watch it with my 2 sons, and one of them in from Arizona State and one of them in from Ohio, and just a lot of fun. But yeah, Mo Diabate was something special tonight. What I absolutely love to see too, Aiden Holloway. This guy's coming into his own, y'all. I'm telling you, I was worried for him about this game in the sense that Houston's so physical. Is it me, or does Houston look like they have a bunch of 29-year-olds out there? They got dudes. Every one of them is cut up. Every one of them has got like this, I've been through the ringer and I came out the other side better man for it. And like they just got this look about them, like they all look like they work in a machine shop. And man, they're just strong and physical, and they don't quit. Really, really impressed with Houston. And that game I saw them play against Auburn earlier this year, I knew, I was like, that's 2 good teams right there. Well, I saw 2 good teams tonight. And the fact that Houston lost both of them, let me say this: if there's anybody out there for Houston, then y'all got a team. I mean, if Alabama and Houston play in a week, this outcome could be the opposite. Same thing with Houston and Auburn. I think Houston's one of the best teams in the country. Now they're going to drop in the rankings, but I'm not so sure they should. If you watch them play, you're like, that LJ Cryer, he's special. And you know what it's kind of reminds me of is like LJ Cryer is this special talent that can score all the time. And all the other Houston players are like, we're protecting him. If you want to get to him, you got to get through us. And that's why I think Calvin Sampson was so upset one time when they said that we're not getting him the ball enough. He's like, we're here to protect him. He's our man, and y'all are men, and y'all protect him. And that's how this works. But back to Aiden Holloway for a second. I got to pull up his stat line because I thought he was special tonight. I did. They don't even have his minutes. They don't have anybody's minutes listed yet on ESPN. But he's 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, 5 of 8 overall, 2 of 2 from the stripe. He had 3 total rebounds. Let me tell you something. You get 3 rebounds at Aiden Holloway, that's about like getting 10 rebounds out of one of your big men. I truly believe that. He had 3 nice assists, one of them very late to Darian Reed, 14 big points. He was in the game late. That's another thing, is Aiden Holloway was in the game late, so they trust him. Uncle Charles said, did we win the game? Yeah, I'm just trying to pump up Houston because I believe they are awesome. We were awesomer tonight, okay? So I don't want you to think that I'm sitting here like saying anything else. Somebody says we need referee reform. Let me say this about that. My sons and I were talking about how, it was sort of schizophrenic at times. And the other thing that I thought was weird, Grant Hill was like accidentally, well, I don't know about accidentally, but I thought it was accidental. Just like every time there was a foul call, he'd be like, I don't agree with that. Or if there wasn't a foul call, he was like, there should have been a foul. It was like everything was the opposite for him. I thought that ball definitely went out on Tugler at the end of the game where they reviewed it. I thought that definitely went out on him. I don't know how they didn't see it. But they apparently said it didn't. So whatever. Mike Madden, Vandy is Bama's daddy. Okay, Mike, control yourself, Mike. Go Dogs, all that stuff. Congratulations. Go get them, Georgia. I mean, when y'all do something in basketball, go get you a podcast and go live or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But Aiden Holloway was great. Mark Sears getting his groove back. Nice thing to see. He hit some huge 3-pointers. He had a moment in there in the game where he went in for like a layup, and I thought it was he forced it a little bit much. He got blocked, and they ended up getting the ball back. But again, very little to complain about because in basketball, you're going to have some bad shots taken. LJ Cryer took some bad shots in that game, late in the game specifically. Somebody says Mo is a Herb Jones clone. I think he's got Herb Jones' heart. I don't know if he's got like his length. I'm not sure he is the lockdown guy that Herb was. But man, again, that's why I go back with Michael Ansley. Michael Ansley was like, he didn't have all the attributes of a Derek McKee. He couldn't shoot the ball as well as Jim Farmer. He couldn't handle the ball as well as Mark Godfrey or whatever. But he did a little bit of everything really well. And I thought that's what Mo did tonight. Mo's going to be the story. Mo's going to be the story of this game. Omayari, he played well. He's the one guy we got, to me, that looks like he could play for Houston. Now, that's not to say our guys aren't good. Please don't think I'm saying that. I'm just saying the way Houston guys look, they look a lot older than they actually are. And Cliff looks kind of like a Houston player, if you ask me. And I think that's a great thing. I thought Jaron Stevenson even played better tonight. He got in there and mixed it up. He can't hit a shot right now. He's got the yips. I don't know what in the world it's going to take to cure it. And again, I don't have access to his minutes that he played right now, but he was 0 of 1 from beyond the arc. That's the only field goal shot he took. And then he was 1 of 3 from the stripe. And he did have 3 rebounds. He did have an assist. I thought he got in there and mixed it up when he was in there, though. I was happy to see him. Reitzel, man, I'm going to tell you, how do you not watch Reitzel and not get a smile on your face if you're an Alabama fan? To me, it's like there's a permanent tattoo on his of a smile on his face, and he just always seems happy to be out there. And what I was going way back to what I was trying to make a little earlier. What I love about this team, LeBaron Philon, who I don't believe played at all in overtime, didn't play much late in the game. The first thing he did is go out there to Aiden Holloway after the contest. And I think they did that. Y'all have seen that TikTok where it's like, just give me my money, that thing where like they were messing with the coaches sometimes. Some of the players were like, that was a national thing on TikTok. Well, he went out there and did that. And I just thought it was cool. This group seems to have better chemistry than maybe it was all developed tonight. Seriously. I was telling somebody the other day that Alabama's going to be good, but it may take us a while to gel. We may have gelled tonight. What if what if Mo Diabate hit that three-quarter court shot? Holy cow. It hit the front of the rim. It was awesome. That would have been a sweet capper for his night. But in the end, I think that it all worked out really well. Dylan says, we want UConn. Yeah, I'll play UConn. I've seen UConn twice in the last 2 days. They've lost most of them. So, yeah, I'll play them. No doubt about it. I think Duke and Kansas are still playing right now. That game may be over by now, but I don't really care anymore. And I know that game carries more weight, and I'm sure that game was a lot as well. There's 3 minutes left in the second half, and Kansas up by 3. I think that game's also in Vegas, is what's weird. It is in Vegas. So you could have gone to see Bama Houston, which in the end I think is probably going to be the better game. And it looks like Duke Kansas is coming right down to the last second too. So just what an unbelievable night for Alabama. Tomorrow they play Rutgers. This is a Rutgers team, by the way. Kennesaw State, coached by Antoine Petway, goes and beats Rutgers the other night. What a huge win for him. I don't know how you couldn't be any happier for that guy. He might not be on anybody's all-Alabama team of all time, but if you said, hey, we can have one other dude, sort of a wild card, and he's our sixth man or seventh man, yeah, I would take Petway. He was a dude. So congratulations to him. What a big win for him, and super happy for him. And man, I'm so fired up about this team. And I know that some people were upset after Purdue, and they did sort of collapse late. But playing on the road against a top 10 team is one thing, especially early in the season when you had developed a chemistry. Playing in this game with a Houston team that's got NBA talent, they look like an NBA team out there. They got the bodies of NBA players. And then they got LJ Cryer, who's just a scoring machine. And we're able to overcome all that. We overcome their 17-5 run or whatever it is. And we come back and we win this game in overtime. And we really took over. And the tone was set when Sears hit that three-pointer in OT. And that sort of, set it all up. Somebody, Austin Seymour says, Luke, can I have your job when you're done? Yeah, you can have this job, I guess. I wish I had your job. First of all, I do have another job with my family business that I've been doing for 30 years. But yeah, I just got to do this because Jimmy and I like Alabama stuff, and we were doing a podcast and accidentally got moderately discovered, and it's gotten a little bit bigger. So that's just the way it is, Austin Seymour. We'd love to have you start your own. We'll be glad to give you any advice we can give. And the only advice we can give you is get a producer, because we don't know what we're doing. And luckily, somehow this still makes it. Keith Jones says, Luke, did you have Holloway having a bigger impact than Cliff in these big games? No, I did not. I don't think anybody did. I was hesitant to even get optimistic about Aiden Holloway at the beginning of the year, because I hate watch Auburn a lot, right? I probably will tonight before I go to bed watch some of this North Carolina game. I think Auburn's going to take care of business, but it makes me mad. I don't like it. So, but I watched Aiden Holloway a lot last year, and I snickered like the rest of Alabama fans, because I was like, he's he's not very good. And Auburn said he's going to be the second coming. Well, when he transfers to Alabama, and I'm like, let's see what happens. And this summer, all you heard in practices was he's lighting it up. He's killing it. I mean, I talked to people who were at the practices like, he's killing it. He's fantastic. And then when he gets in the game, and first of all, you see how much smaller in stature he is than a lot of these other folks. I mean, Latrell's pretty well. Latrell Wrightsell is built pretty well. Ormiari is Mark Sears is built well. Diabate's got a good build to him. Reed does. I mean, all these guys do, right? And then you've got Aiden Holloway coming out there, and it's like he looks like he's the antithesis of what the Houston players look like. He looks like he's 14 years old out there playing. Doesn't mean he can't play. I mean, I'm just saying he looks that way. Steph Curry looked young forever. But the first few games when things weren't really kicking off for him, where maybe he had a good first game and then it sort of maybe trended downward, it's coming back up. He's finding his groove. He is finding his way. It takes some time to learn how to play at this level. And I do think that he was used to dominating on the high school circuit. Then he gets to Auburn and thought he played okay. He wasn't great, but he didn't match the hype. And I think that sort of probably factored into his leaving. And then he comes to Bama, and he doesn't have to be the man. He can be the point guard. If Sears wants to move over to the shooting guard, he can be the point guard. If Wrightsell is out there being shooting guard, or he can be the shooting guard himself, and Sears can handle the point. So there's a lot of things he can do, and there's a lot of ways for him to find his way. And I thought tonight he played well. Again, 3 rebounds out of him is, to me, about the equivalent of 9 rebounds out of Grant. That's the way I look at that. And that's so gravy. But everything else he did, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, take that all day. So very, very excited about this win, man. Appreciate all y'all staying up late and, listening to me rant and just being happy. So appreciate you guys so much. Do tune in tomorrow. Jimmy and I will do a podcast and, preview the Iron Bowl a little bit more, probably preview Alabama Rutgers a little bit, talk about this game because Jimmy hadn't had the opportunity, talk about some recruiting. Alabama got some good recruiting news for a 2027 guy that we had no idea who he was or that he was committing, found out a little bit more. And then, of course, Clazario, I believe that's how you say his name, is the other running back who flipped from Michigan State. So we'll talk about all that tomorrow. But until then, everybody, roll tide.